In government this week, the Middle School Building Committee met on Monday. The MSBA completed the first of 3 periodic design reviews and determined that $6.2 million must be cut from the project design. Justin Tebow, a principal with AI3 Architects, explained how the supply chain and gas prices have dramatically increased the initial estimates.
The increase of what we're seeing is primarily in steel and metal studs. The roofing membrane has gone through the roof. Piping, the metal in piping, it's going crazy. The mechanical systems, ductwork, electrical systems, and diesel fuel. Diesel fuel here is tied to the site cost for a couple reasons. Well, for one reason, obviously everything on site, earthwork, they're using diesel fuel to excavators, bulldozers, palers, everything. However, diesel fuel really starts to sort of globally affect everything. Everything needs to be shipped, whether it's locally or nationally or internationally, but it just sort of embeds itself with everything. So looking from SD to DD alone, there was an increase of just over 10%, which is unheard of.
The committee spent 2 hours reviewing almost 100 possible reductions recommended by AI3 and Compass Project Management. The committee will be meeting again on Monday, July 18th to continue the review and take a final vote on these reductions. At the Planning Board meeting on Monday night, Town Planner Paul Halkiotis updated the board on the status of the plans filed by Norwood Hospital. The Planning Department has not received all of the plans needed to be reviewed for next week's meeting. Chair Ernie Pachakowski questioned whether or not to cancel this meeting.
So, Paul, that begs the question, do we need to have the 18th meeting? I mean, to be honest with you, I don't want to have another meeting with the hospital unless we're ready. We're at the point where we'll have conditions, but we can close the meeting. Is it fair to say that, do we need a meeting on the 18th?
It's hard to say right now, and I'm reluctant to kind of make that decision right now and slam the door.
Okay.
It's possible that they can give us the information we need and it can be reviewed. So I'd like to kind of hold off on that.
All right.
And we can connect back with the board later this week if it appears that that deadline's not going to be met.
Chair Pachakowski reiterated the board's commitment to working with the hospital to move the project along, but emphasized the need for the hospital to meet them halfway.
But they have to, they got to come to the table too. I mean, they want this.
Yeah. No, I
Get
agree.
us the stuff. We know that we tell them, we'll help you, but
And I know.
we're not just going to, I think it's unfair for the town to whitewash this thing and just say, oh yeah, we'll deal with stormwater and not have unresolved issues. We got a 24-inch pipe going in a 12-inch pipe, and there are some, so I just don't think it's fair to the town. And I mean, they're going ahead with their demolition. They're okay.
The Planning Board is scheduled to meet next week if all plans from the hospital are received in time for the Planning Department and Board to review. On Tuesday, at the Board of Selectmen's meeting, the Board was briefed on potential permanent hybrid meeting legislation by Town Council Attorney Karis North. This legislation comes as the Municipal Relief Act comes to an end on July 31st. This act authorized temporary changes to open meeting law, allowing full remote meetings and hybrid meetings. Attorney North advised the board to contact their legislators to vote these new permanent regulations down for several reasons.
Every public body must have public meetings remote and accessed remotely to the public. So that means not just the select board, not just the planning board, every public body, regardless. So that is, according to the MMA, over 10,000 entities, bodies within the Commonwealth. The access, it's a little bit unclear to me from the legislation, but the access has to be through internet, video, or other video technology. It would no longer allow phone-in access, which is also a significant concern to anybody who doesn't use the internet, isn't comfortable with the internet, or can't get good internet service. So this is a more of an issue out, I think, in Western Massachusetts, and certainly not an issue in the town of Norwood with your own broadband facility, but it is certainly an access problem for a lot of people. So you no longer will be able to call in on your cell phone to participate in the meeting. The amendment also requires that 1/3 of the members have to be physically present in a physical location at wherever the meeting is being held. So also, it can't be entirely remote. It's either in person or hybrid.
Selectman Donnelly raised the point that this is an unfunded mandate that would create costs for NORD if it is adopted while the state is currently operating at a surplus.
Because with most of these items, there will be a cost. My understanding currently, for example, is that while we do remote meetings, and we're pretty sophisticated in terms of how we're employing it, we do not use the automated speech recognition technology for live captioning, which the state would be telling us to do without an opportunity for us to figure out, well, how do we do that and what will it cost? And what I think is a little more irritating to me is that things like this come into unfunded mandates at a time when the state is running a surplus, and that they're providing rebate checks to a number of residents where we haven't had a chance, and yet they come before us and say that you, the municipality, need to not only employ this technology but come up with the money to do it. I think the cleanest thing would be really to kind of just do an extension of current status until such time as a new session starts. It could be more appropriately vetted.
Well, that's it for government this week. For complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government channel or watch it on demand at nordcommunitymedia.org.